Hi and welcome. I play Hero Wars, and my guild was expanding into the Dreadful Hydra. I went and did some online searches for Dreadful Hydra with low power teams. I found a couple, but one of the things I noticed in those YouTube videos or the Reddit post was that those low power teams often included a 70 and 80 or even a 90 power hero. Not that the whole team was 90 power, but they would be one like overpowered hero for what I would have considered mid power or low power for the level of Dreadful anyway. Acknowledging that if you're doing Dreadful, you have a 120 level hero. All your heroes are 120, and you're working on a certain amount of effort. So I found them very useful, but I don't have any heroes of that size. My largest hero is 61,000 power. Most of my heroes are 45 to 55. So I wasn't even sure if I would be able to do Dreadful and be able to solo it with 3 horns. So I've been working over that over a few weeks, just tweaking my lines and trying to understand the dynamics of Dreadful. The power delivery of the Dreadful is significantly higher than Ancient, so my lines for Ancient didn't just immediately work, even having moved them up in power. So if we look here, what we have is I'm going to navigate, of course, over to the Dreadful. I've already cleared, so we're going to look at the history for today, but my guild has cleared all the lower ones. And because I can now solo fire as of today, we've dropped our second head and almost a third. So being able to solo on 3 horns really frees up your guildmates to just mass attack the remaining heads. So let's go into Dreadful, and then let's go into the journal. So what you're going to see here in this journal is I will show you my 2 main lines, and then I was still experimenting with my third line in this, so I will skip the first attack in that third line. But you can see here my first line, my first horn did 39 million in total. My second horn did 38 million, and I was able to clear the Fire Hydra with my third horn for the first time. So let's open up this first horn. Let's look at this first team. So in this first team, I have Alvanor, Maya, Ju, Mojo, and Thea. Let's look at their power. Ju is 45,000. Mojo is 50. Maya 42. Alvanor 50. And Thea 46. So clearly nowhere near 70, 80, 90,000 power. They're all also either purple or probably just first level orange. I do have a couple that are second level orange, but they're purple threes or orange ones essentially. This line was really hard. I actually had it going pretty well, and then during the Ju event, I evolved Ju and it broke the synergy of the line. I had to get rid of all of his gifts to lower his survivability so that his ult would trigger, and I got that back. It took me a bit to figure out to reset his gifts so that I could lower his overall health and allow the ultimate to happen. Ancient, I could keep this whole line alive based on his power rating, and Mojo would crush another 15 million. But on Dreadful, it's really about keeping Ju alive. So damage taken, everybody just gets wiped out, and then Ju starts his cycle. So let's watch that happen. So we're going to start here, and you're going to see Alva and Meyer, just trying to hang in there for a second. Thea and Mojo, they go a little bit more. I get about 30 seconds out of them. And then Ju starts his cycle. Now going forward, I can't mess with this balance very much. This first line balance really is about Ju's ult. So I can't really now mess with Alvanor, Maya, or Thea. I can pump Mojo. He does not help Ju in any way or block damage to Ju. So I will be able to pump Mojo more if I want and get more damage out of him, help him live a little bit longer, but not really necessary for Dreadful Hydra. I'm gonna sit on this setup for a while my guildmates catch up to single horn some of the other heads, or take over for fire and I'll move to the next head. So let's move to the second line. Second line, we have Mushy. This is my only 60,000 power and basically 61,000. So not the high end, just scraping past 60,000 power. I've got Mushy, Lilith, Julius, Astaroth, and Martha. So respectively 61,000, Lilith at 52,000 effectively, Julius 45, Astaroth 55, and Martha at 45. Damage taken, they do pretty well. A lot of shields in this row. So the shields are taking a lot of damage. The shrooms are taking a lot of damage. And then their healing capacity and the shields allow them to keep doing damage for the full 2 minutes. So let's take a look at that real quick. So here you see Julius gets really close, but he heals up, gets in his cycle. Mushy is getting really close, but healing catches up. And by a minute, they're in their cycle here. So it's a couple close calls in that first minute, but once we move into the second half of the 2 minutes, we're in good shape. The heals are happening, everybody is going hard, and we're crushing it. Lilith is getting huge. She's loving this. And we end up at 15 million for the second line. Now I'm going to skip the third line here. I'm still kind of working on it, and that was not a good amount of damage for the third line. Let's go to the second line. So the second horn, sorry. So here in the second horn, you can see the third line's improved quite a bit. I remixed it to give me more healing with Celeste and Dorian, and I added another heavy damage absorber in Andvari. So let's look at this line. We've got Yasmin at 50. We have Andvari at 47, Dorian at 47, Galahad at 45, and Celeste at 49. So we're not even in like really 50,000 territory here. We are in the 40s for the most part. Damage taken, obviously the Fire Hydra wins, so everybody just falls on the battlefield. But we get a little bit of healing and enough to keep Yasmin going. I definitely could pump this line. This is a line that I'll probably keep working on. I do use some of these characters in Arena and Gander Arena. So I can get more damage out of this line for sure, which will have value when I move to some of the other heads because of their traps in the other heads. And I'll need to figure out how to put Sebastian in either the first line or the third line probably to stop some of the traps. But you can see we're mid 40s in that line and we got 500,000. Every 100,000 helps when you're getting really close. So what you can see is I have 3 horns, and it took me 3 lines for each of the first 2 horns, and then I was able to clear the Hydra in 2 lines with my third horn. So I just I'll post this up. I don't do a lot of these videos now for many reasons, but I just couldn't find a good resource to allow someone who's at like this mid-level to compete on Dreadful. So I wanted to put this out there to show people that if you're in that 45 to 60 range, if you get the right synergy for your lines, you definitely can take out at least the Dreadful Fire. And in a few weeks, as my guildmates catch up, I will shift to another head, and maybe I'll do another video of this other, mid-level, low-power type line hitting Dreadful and clearing a Hydra head. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.